Hi, welcome to today's special yoga class. Today is all about spring renewal. We'll be doing half flow and half yin. So the purpose of this class is one of my favorite ways to practice is to just kind of loosen up the body. You really get your juices flowing, move the stagnant energy, allow yourself to be able to find that calmness of the mind so that you can move into the meditative state of yin. And pretty much in our yin practice, we're focusing on stretching our deep connective tissues. So hitting our fascia, our ligaments, tendons, all of that good stuff. So we'll be finding the best of both worlds. The only props you'll need today is a bolster if you have one. You can also use a firm pillow, maybe fold up a couple of blankets. We just want something that you can support yourself during the yin posture so that you can find your personal edge. Also today we'll be covering a different type of breath work. You may or may not have heard of Kapalabhati, breath of fire. We'll be doing that to really move prana from our root chakra all the way at the base of our spine, moving it up so that we can really get into our practice. So I'm going to first demonstrate. Pretty much you take a full breath in and then you'll do short, sharp exhales as you pump the belly. If you want to take a mudra, which is just basically a hand gesture to tap into that fire element, we're going to just fold in all of our fingers in and then lift up through the thumb. You can either hold the hands out to the side or allow them to rest onto your knees. So you'll take that full breath in and then release in your sharp exhales. So got it? So we'll continue to breathe in that way, and let's try to pump for 5 to 10 pumps per inhale. So we'll see how that goes. Just listen to your body and you'll notice that heat begin to rise up. You'll notice that energizing feeling, and hopefully it'll be good for you. So go ahead and prepare. We'll inhale from the belly. So inhale fully. And one more round. And then release out of your mouth. And maybe you notice that bit of heat and energy begin to come up. Maybe you feel a different lightness within the head. Just begin to breathe naturally. So you can close your eyes here and we'll continue to breathe in and out through your nose. Allowing yourself to ground, finding that length in the spine. Allowing the mind to clear as you just focus on your inhalations and exhalations. And when you're ready, we'll slowly flutter the eyes open. On your next inhale, sweep both hands high to the sky, reach through the fingertips, and then you can take the arms side to side, maybe in a wave-like motion as you just find that shimmy through the side body, lengthening from the hips all the way to the armpits, through the fingers. And then find stillness here. Release your right hand down to the mat beside you, and you're hinging over to the right. So breathing into the side body. Really focus on creating space. And then relax that shoulder away from the ear. So plugging that head of the humerus bone into your socket. Maybe take the gaze up towards the sky. We'll take another breath here. Then as you exhale, you're releasing that left hand down to meet the right as you move into a twist. So coming to twist all the way to your right side. And then you're going to inhale, sweep that hand back up to the sky. Maybe opening through the heart as you take the gaze up. Exhale, releasing the hand down into your twist. We'll find that 2 more times. So inhale, opening up, sweeping the hand high. And then exhale, floating that hand back down. On your next inhale, left hand sweeps up, right hand reaches up as well, and then we'll take it over to the other side. So left hand down, hinge over to the left as you breathe into the side body, creating that space. Maybe taking the gaze underneath the right arm. And then don't forget to plug the shoulder into the socket as you root down evenly through both hips. We'll take one more breath here. Then as you exhale, releasing your right hand down to meet the left, breathing into the side body. Then inhale, sweeping that hand right back up to the sky, opening through the heart. Exhale, releasing hand down, meet the left. Good, inhale, sweeping up. And last time, taking that hand down. This time, inhale, floating that right hand back up the center. Left hand comes up as well. Reach through the fingertips. Then exhale, releasing your hands down to your knees. From here, rocking over to make your way in a tabletop position. So coming onto all fours, hands, shoulders, all in one line, hips and knees in one line. Peek through your legs, make sure you can't see your toes. And then on your next inhale, you're dropping your belly down to the mat and gazing up towards the sky. Find that space in your heart. We'll take one more breath here. And then as you exhale, press the ground away. Tuck your chin to your chest as you rock back and over. Create space between the shoulder blades. Inhale, pull the heart through, cow pose. And then exhaling to round, really press the ground away. And we'll find one more round each direction. Exhaling to round. Good, and then meeting back with your neutral tabletop position. On your next inhale, extend the right hand out in front of you. Reach through the fingertips. As you exhale, you're going to lower the hips back onto the heels. Right hand sweeps back and around, creating a full circle with that arm. So reaching it right back out in front and then extending it back as you lower hips to heels. We'll take 2 more big circles like this, just loosening up through that shoulder joint. Good, last one, reaching hand high, taking it back. Then returning to your tabletop position, reach through that hand. Then as you exhale, thread the needle, releasing right hand down to the mat. Shoulder and side of the head comes down as well. Maybe you're releasing and stretching that left hand out in front of you, or you can sweep it up and around, moving into a bind. We'll just take one more breath here. Release through your shoulder. And then returning that left hand down to the mat. Inhale, right hand sweeps high to the sky, opening up. Then exhale, releasing that hand down into your tabletop position. From here, extending your left hand out in front of you, and we're moving through those arm circles. So hips to heels as you draw the hand back, up and around, releasing through that shoulder joint and taking it back and around. We'll find 2 more circles like that. So sweeping it back, pulling it around. Good, and last time, reaching it back, sweeping it high, and this time threading the needle, releasing hand, shoulder, head down to the mat. From here, walking that right hand out in front of you. Option to sweep it back and around as you move into that bind. From here, gently planting the right hand down to the mat. Inhale, left hand sweeps high. Exhale, setting it down in your tabletop position. On your next inhale, extend your right foot behind you, flexing through the foot, spread the toes, getting nice and long through that leg. Then as you exhale, pull your knee to meet your nose. We're crunching everything in. Inhale, reach it out. We'll find 2 more like that. Exhale, pulling it in. Good, and then inhale, reaching it out behind you. Exhale, pulling knee in towards your nose, and then placing that foot in between the hands. So maybe having to help it along, use that right hand if you need it. Stack your knee right over the ankle, and you're lifting up as you bring your hands to your knees, setting up for a low crescent lunge. So option to keep your hands right here on your knees. Maybe you sweep hands high to the sky, and then you're drawing hands down to your heart center. Continue to release into that left hip flexor. Staying strong into the legs as you keep that length in the upper body. We'll take 1 more breath here. And then wherever you are, you're twisting over to the right as you keep your hands at heart center or your hands onto the knee. So you're drawing the shoulder blades towards one another. Use that resistance of your legs, of your hands. We'll take 1 more breath here. And then gently return to center before releasing your hands down to frame the foot. On your next inhale, shine the heart forward, find length in the spine, and then exhale, half split. So you're straightening through that front leg as much as you can as you lift those right toes towards the sky. We'll take another breath in, lengthen the spine, and then melting the heart and chest over that leg. Good, breathing in once more. And then slowly shifting forward, back into that right knee. Bringing your hands to frame the foot, tucking the back toe, lifting that knee, and you're stepping back to plank pose. So that high push-up position. Hands right underneath your shoulders. Press the ground away, holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Soften your knees down to the mat as you lower knees, chest, and chin. Untuck the toes. Hug your elbows in all the way down to the mat. Inhale, scoop your heart forward. And then exhale, hips to heels, child's pose. And on your next inhale, returning to your tabletop position. Hands right underneath the shoulders, knees under hips. On your next inhale, extend your left foot out behind you, flexing through the foot, spreading the toes, hugging the belly up and in. We'll take a breath for length, and then as you exhale, pull your knees to meet your nose, crunching everything in. Inhale, extending it long. Exhale, round through the shoulders as you pull the knee in. Inhale, extending. Good, and then exhale, pull knee in, this time placing foot between the hands. So maybe rising onto the fingertips, stepping that foot through. Once you're grounded, find length in the spine, and then begin to walk your hands onto your knees, lifting upper body right over your pelvis. Again, option to stay here, or you can sweep both hands high to the sky before drawing hands down to your heart center. Remembering to hug the low belly and ribs in as you keep that length in the spine. We'll take one more breath here. And wherever you are, slowly begin to twist to your left over that leg, initiating the twist at the navel as you keep your legs shining forward, hips are square. Take one more breath here. Then gently returning right back to center and releasing your hands down to frame the foot. Find that length in the spine, reach the crown of the head forward, and then exhale, straighten through the front leg for your half split, turning your toes up towards the ceiling. We'll find a little bit more length on the next inhale. And exhale, melt the chest down over the leg. Breathe into the back of that hamstring. Good, and one more breath here. And when you're ready, slowly bending back into that front knee. Hands come to frame the foot. Tuck the back toe, lift the knee. You're stepping back to plank pose, high push-up position, holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Lower knees down, elbows hug in, lower chest and chin down as well. Hips arrive last, scoop the heart forward, cobra pose. And then exhale, hips to heels for your child's pose. And take a couple of grounding breaths here. And on your next inhale, slowly lifting yourself up. Hips arrive back onto your heels. We're going to move into a brief toe stretch to really release through the bottoms of the feet. So bring the hands to the mat in front of you. Lift the hips up and you're tucking the toes under. From here, slide the hips back onto the heels. An option to keep your hands on the ground, or if you want a little bit more, slowly begin to lift your upper body up over your hips. So we'll just draw the shoulders up, sitting them down and away as you just send the breath into the bottoms of the feet. We'll find 2 more slow breaths here. Maybe close the eyes, remaining present. Good, and one more breath. And when you're ready, gently releasing hands down, untucking the toes, and then tap the tops of the feet onto the mat, releasing through the feet. From here, hips back, and then you're shifting your hips over to one side and swinging your legs out in front of you. As we transition into our yin posture, you really want to focus on softening through all of your muscles in the body. So for our first posture, we're finding a caterpillar pose or a forward fold. So extending the legs long, think about just allowing the legs to soften so feet fall out to wherever feels most natural. And then we're really focusing on rounding through the shoulders. So here's a good place to use your pillow or your bolster if you need a little support. If you're taking the free fall without it, you're just going to begin to round forward. So dropping shoulders in as you just allow yourself to let go, releasing chin towards your chest. Again, if you need that pillow on your lap, go ahead and find that here. And we'll just hang out here for about 10 full breaths. And coming down to one more full breath. And when you're ready, slowly begin to lift yourself back up, rolling one vertebrae at a time as you lift and lengthen through the spine. Maybe bring your hands out behind you first, just opening through the heart gently. Maybe the head and neck falls back, and we'll just take a couple of breaths here to rebound. And when you're ready, gently releasing, and we'll move into our next posture of a supported fish pose. So here is where your bolster will come into handy. If you also have a yoga block or a book, you can use that as well, but the goal is to really create that opening through the heart. So if you're using a block or a book, you're just going to place it right underneath your shoulder blades. If you have your pillow or your stacked folded blanket or a true bolster, you're just going to bring it to the back of your sacrum, so that triangle part at the base of the spine, and then begin to release back over it as you recline. Open up through the arms as you just create the space in your heart. You can either keep the knees bent or extend the legs long, or you can bring the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to fall out if that feels better for you. So wherever you are, we'll just take a few minutes here creating space in your heart. As we come down to our final 3 breaths, begin to deepen and find a little bit more space. And when you're ready, bending the knees, soles of the feet come back to the mat if you're not already there. And then pressing into the arms or rocking over to one side, and then press yourself up. Just making your way back to a seat. And wherever you are, gently hug the knees in, and you'll drop forehead towards the knees as you gently release. And slowly unwinding, and you can remove your bolster or pillow or book out the way, and then you're making your way down onto your back. So coming to lie down all the way. Taking a full body stretch as you reach the hands over the head. And then gently pulling the knees in so that they stack right over your hips. So rooting the back into the mat as we find a supine twist. So arms out to a T, or take a cactus by bending the elbows, and you're dropping the knees over to the right side, gazing over the left shoulder. Find that relief for your spine. Continue to root down evenly through both shoulder blades here. And coming down to your final 3 breaths. Slowly begin to lift the knees back to center, and then we'll take it to the other side. So releasing knees over to your left and gazing over the right shoulder. Coming down to your final 3 breaths on this side. And when you're ready, gently returning knees back to center. Resetting through the spine and extending both legs long onto the mat as we move into our final relaxation of Shavasana. So here, just allowing everything to relax and release into the mat. Just taking a few moments for yourself to release, surrender, and rejuvenate. When you're ready, start to deepen through your breath and introduce some small movements in the body to help yourself reawaken. Wiggling fingers and toes, rotating wrists and ankles. Maybe rocking the head side to side. And gently hugging both knees into the chest, giving yourself one last squeeze before making your way up to a comfortable seat. On your next inhale, sweeping both hands high to the sky overhead. Exhale, hands right down to your heart center, sealing in your practice. Namaste.